too bad, man. Not too bad. Just press record on this now. It's,
Yeah, you had a busy one.
Yeah, like the fridge had like stopped working periodically as well, so I had to kind of make sure that was all good. Had to let the cat out. Real life gets in the way, doesn't it, bro? You know what I mean?
DJ life, DJ Rockstar life, baby.
Isn't it, man? Everyone thinks, "Yo, you guys have the best jobs." I'm like, no, I still have to like let my cat out and deal with all that shit like regular people, you know.
Things that matter, right?
Oh, no, it's crazy. How's the past few weeks been for you anyway, since we've all been on lockdown?
They've actually been quite cool, you know. I think one of the main things for me was that I was just going at 100 miles per hour all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So this period of respite has been somewhat something I needed. Obviously, what's happening outside of our houses and other families and other people is extremely unfortunate and sad. But for me, I've just been able to like rest a little bit and just slow down a bit and just take things at a slower pace.
Yeah, that's cool. Like a lot of people I've been speaking to, like especially like people in the kind of creative field or anyone who works like in our scene, they kind of feel a little bit fortunate they've got this breathing space to kind of, you know, finish things, like even if it's just silly things like tax returns or keeping up with admin, you know, organizing crates, downloading music. You know what I mean, it's that's I feel that's like a never-ending job, you know, organizing your playlists, creating new playlists, getting hold of older stuff to put into playlists, and then you know, it's very easy to kind of just dump things into, you know, like a 2020 crate, but not organize it properly, where it's, you know, I've got to the point where I've got that geeky with my hip hop collection. I've got producer crates now, and I've got label crates, and then I've got affiliated artists, and you know, even features and stuff like this. It's getting to the point where it's like so like Rain Man like and specific that if anyone was to contact me and be like, hey, I really want a Rap-A-Lot record set from 1995, can you come and play that for an hour? Then yo, I've got you, man, it's all good.
I'm ready.
So this is the back-to-back series, episode 003. I'm joined by arguably like the dopest but most left field DJ name I've ever heard, Buttery Hotness. Like I just need to start this by just asking how on earth did you, where did you even get the name? What you know, what made you want to call yourself Buttery Hotness?
Buttery Hotness. So
I mean, it's definitely a DJ name you don't forget straight away. You know what I mean?
This is it. That's exactly the first thing I thought when Buttery Hotness just fell upon my mind. So believe it or not, it was like 5 a.m. in the morning, and me and my friends had just come back from like a night out in central London, and I was quite hungry. There was nothing to cook in the kitchen, so I literally found some bread, popped it in the toaster, and got some bar at the fridge. And then it was almost as if like the world just stopped, everything stood still. Once that butter hit that warm piece of toast, I just saw how it reacted. I was probably really, really tired too. And I was just like, this right here, that's the Buttery Hotness. And I was just like, hold on a minute, kind of sounds cool. Let's test it out. So from that day, this was back when we had like BlackBerry messengers and we had like usernames. So after that, I just changed it to the Buttery Hotness, and a lot of people are like, the hell is the Buttery Hotness? I was like, it's me. But since then, I've just kind of kept it because it's one that will just never leave your memory, and it just sparks conversation.
Yeah, man, and it's definitely like one of those names that you associate with just kind of like slow jams, R&B, like girl tunes in it. You know what I mean? So it's
pretty much.
Yeah, for real. It's yeah. I mean, obviously we got you on to kind of do an R&B mix, which we'll talk about later. But I think we've only met one time before, and that was obviously at DLT at their post-Christmas party, which was sick. Like you know, obviously I went down to meet Rob Percy. You know, that's the connect there. The big homie, and yeah, like I feel that Rob Percy is like, he just knows everyone, doesn't he? Like he just seems to connect everyone. He just seems to connect the right people, and you know, I don't think anyone's got a bad word to say about Rob. He's just generally like one of these, like, he's just genuinely a nice guy, you know.
Yeah. That's the best way to put it, man. He's just a pure-hearted type of person, man, and you just gravitate towards that. And he's just always willing to drop knowledge or introduce you to someone that I think will be sort of key for you. He's just a great guy.
Yeah, man. And, you know, like Rob's like one of these people whose opinion on music I really respect. You know, no one can no one can tell that guy anything when it comes to rap and R&B. And when he kind of like introduced me to him, it's like, this guy knows his stuff about hip hop and R&B. Then I was like, all right, cool. If Rob says that he knows his stuff, then he's definitely got to know his stuff. And I think we just spoke briefly, and I think we were like talking about I think it was something like R&B remixes or hip hop remixes of like R&B tunes or something. It was like some super like geeky thing.
Proper.
Yeah.
Probably like some weirdos just standing. Somebody else
No.
just literally going back and forth about
Yeah,
particular
man.
songs.
And that's what I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, let's definitely keep in touch. And yeah, man, I'm still yet to come out and actually see DJ in the live setting, but obviously from what I've heard on, mixtapes and, especially the half of the mix that you sent me as well, it's just like, yeah, guy's certified. We, definitely need to catch him in a club soon. So how did you initially get into DJing? Like, what was your kind of entry point into the game?
So like my entry point was I had like a family friend, and he used to be a DJ back when garage was huge, and he used to like throw garage raves and different stuff like that. So I remember one time I was way too young. I should not have been allowed to enter this club with him, but I somehow did. And that was the first time I'd ever seen like what a DJ does, or a club, or just see people dancing and having a good time. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. It was almost like it was like a plant that was just sort of dropped there. Nothing happened for a little while in terms of I didn't pick up sort of turntables or start juggling, mixing or anything like that. It sort of happened when grime started. So I lived on an estate, so it was right in front of me. All my friends were either rappers, MCs, some were producers. I tried the whole spitting thing, didn't work. My bars were not there was just no conviction in my bars. I tried the producer thing, but there was no creativity with that. So I was just like, okay, what else can I do? DJ. And I was like, okay, let me just play some of these tunes that he's not spitting over. Let me try, collect some vinyl. And that's pretty much how I got into it, man. There was like a local youth club as well, everyone used to go to, that gave an opportunity for so many people to go there and just test their skills, rap a bit, record it, gain a little buzz. So it was from there that I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I really want to immerse myself in the world of like DJing, because I'm not really a person that likes to be in camera in front of people. Once I have the microphone in my hand, I'd rather be in the background somewhere, minding my own business.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why I gravitated towards DJing to begin with, because it's like, you still get that buzz off of like playing music and seeing the crowd reaction, and you obviously people give props where due and stuff, but you're not at the forefront. You're not center stage. Like, I think people who like music, who are quite introverted or didn't want to be like the life and soul of the party, I feel always gravitate towards being a DJ. Now it's a bit different. You see people like jumping out on stage and jumping on turntables and stage diving and throwing cake into the crowd and shit. It's obviously changing now. The DJ is really like the focal point. People go to see the DJ up on the stage, whereas before we'd be like tucked away like in the corner of a club, and you'd have to like really kind of like fight your way through the crowd to get to the DJ, whereas now we're like in the center of the room, and anyone can kind of come up and request candy at 11 o'clock in the evening. You know what I mean? So
man, you'll be playing hip hop and someone will come up to you and be like, can you play some hip hop? And you're like, that's what I'm playing.
I know. It's the worst one is when people come in like, and they're shocked that when they come in at the beginning of the night, like the club's empty, they're like, oh my god, it's empty in here. Like, oh, what the fuck? Great, man. Like, just shut up and enjoy your free entry. Go and have your free drink. It's fine.
This is it. Relax, enjoy the space and the aircon whilst it's here.
Exactly, man. So when did you start playing out in nightclubs and events, everything?
So once, sort of in my early teens, all I pretty much did was like friends' house parties and birthday parties and small things. I think I had about 10 records. I think I had like More Fire Crew's Oi. I think I had Pow. I think I had Fat Joe's Lean Back. I literally had about 10 songs to play. And I literally just played them over and over again at these parties. It wasn't until after university. So I went to university, but whilst I was there, I kind of just focused on the books. If I was being completely honest, I didn't immerse myself in sort of like the DJ world during that time. I'd go out and enjoy the music and fully immerse myself in that sense, but I didn't actually DJ whilst I was a unit. It was kind of after, and it came from a place of, I don't know if it was kind of frustration or I was just a bit bored of what kind of music was being played at that time. And I was always told that, you know, if you have a problem with something, try to find a solution or be that solution. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, if I have a somewhat of a gripe with what's being played right now, why don't I actually start putting on my own events where I can control the type of music on right here, and hopefully like-minded people gravitate towards that, and we can have a flipping good time. So it was probably when I was like 22, 23, I started putting on some events with some friends, and then sort of word of mouth kind of spilt out, and then I kind of started getting booked to do clubs and different events from then on.
Sweet, man. What sort of year was this? Was like what?
20, 2011, 2012.
Okay.
2012 probably. Yeah, 2012,
So
2013.
So was you like up in all the kind of, you know, Shoreditch bars and clubs and that sort of
Yeah,
scene? Yeah.
yeah. Did some of the Shoreditch clubs.
Yeah, man.
Sort of during that time, there was like a handful of clubs where promoters would like pretty much put their events at. So I kind of did the rounds through some of those places. Tried to find a couple of different places that were a bit more obscure, a little bit further away from the Shoreditch area. Which sort of tried places in like West London and stuff like that, but no one really wants to travel that far out, do they? I think
Yeah,
Shoreditch is like the middle ground.
I feel like unless you're from West or you really have like a foothold in that area, like trying to do anything like out in West is just a myth, man. It's you know, and even then, if you're from West and you have your kind of crowd there, trying to bring those guys into Central or even like Shoreditch, it's like
It's not happening.
it's a wrap. It's you know, I've done a couple of raves up in West, and I always find it weird. Like I don't know, like I remember where's the spot I played actually? I forgot the name of it. It had like a void sound system in there. It was like underneath like some railway arches, like underneath the almost like the overpass. I can't remember whereabouts it was. I want to say it was kind of like Ladbroke Grove Way or that
Royal
sort
Oak.
of area. Yes, yeah, Royal Oak Way. I can't remember the name of the club, but I remember playing there a couple of times, and like the club was beautiful, but yeah, for whatever reason, it was like East London promoters like trying to put something on, and it just wasn't like no one was there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of mad. But yes, I mean, obviously, like I said, I got to know you through you know, like the DLT events. And they've had like a crazy year, you know, in terms of, you know, doing events out in like Ghana, Nigeria. You know, they've kind of popped up all over the globe. Every event they seem to do like sells out, and you know, I've been meaning to obviously like go to one, and you know, obviously I went to the first one, my first one, you know, just after Christmas, and just to see like that many people packed out in Croydon, and just the vibe was just amazing. You know what I mean? You know, everyone was like getting on it. It was like, you know, everyone was like mad drunk and stuff, but the vibe was just like so friendly, just like walking in there. You know, and like the thing that kind of separated it from like a lot of parties that I'll go to is just the quality of the music as well. Like people were there to party, but they really knew their shit as well. You know what I mean? So how did you link up with those guys?
We went to the same uni.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, I went to the same university as some of their boys, and they're all music lovers, first and foremost. So our conversations would always be around sort of music and what you're listening to and what's new. And a time when we were meant to be writing essays in a computer room, we were literally just sharing and talking about music. So already like the foundation between me and those guys were, all right, cool, we love music. And then sort of as years went on by, they sort of floated the idea of trying to, you know, bring or put more of a spotlight on the whole brunch thing, which is somewhat popular in the States. They've been brunching for a minute. That's not to say that in the UK there weren't people doing brunches at that time, but they just wanted to sort of take that concept and just cater it, refine it, and just let it grow from there. And so when it came to thinking about, okay, right, we want to put on an event, we need a DJ, who can we ask? And then they approached me and I was like, it sounds like a sick idea. I think during the brunch time, that's sort of my favorite thing to be doing is to just be playing some music in the background that people can really appreciate, whilst they're comfortable and having conversation with the people they're around.
Yeah, because I really feel like it's hip hop brunch, you guys, or DLT, and to an extent like Super Duper Fly as well. Like they're really those like the three main crews I know that are really kind of like running the brunch scene at the moment in London. And obviously, like prior to all of this, kind of this COVID stuff like kicking off and that, I was doing like hip hop brunch on a regular basis, and it's weird, isn't it? Like when you kind of play like a daytime event, it's the thing I like about it is that, again, you're not kind of confined to sort of playing what you would normally play in the club. You can kind of hold back and play deeper stuff. You can play album cuts and whatnot, and at the same time everyone's just like getting drunk on like bottomless prosecco and whatnot. So even by the time that like it's reached like 4 o'clock, you can still just like bang out just whatever the hell you want. People are just like in party mood, and then they go out and step out into like broad daylight. It's like mad surreal.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. It's got to a point now where I think, for me personally, even though like I love being in the clubs, like daytime parties are the way forward, man. Yeah, I mean it's this is crazy. So I was going to say, yeah, I mean, DJing aside, you dabble in, or not say dabble, sorry, DJing aside, you work in management as well. You look after a couple of acts, Nick Brewer being one of them. I actually did a mixtape for Nick like years and years ago through Ireland. Actually, God knows what happened to it, whether they put it out or not. It's when
I know the mix.
Yeah, when like, oh jeez. So you've been there from the start, like working with Nick.
Nick's been one of my boys for a long time. So he's a great friend of mine first and foremost, and then sort of the music and that side sort of came much later down the line. But yeah, Nick's been my guy for the longest time, man. So it's just sick, man. It's a talented guy.
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't really kind of get the props he really should deserve. Do you know what I mean? He's everything I've heard from him has always been like very, very consistent and stuff. So what made you want to take that step into management as well, alongside DJing?
I think it's just the fact that I just love everything about music. And I've always got sort of ideas going through my mind and stuff like that. And there's only so many ideas I can have that can be transferable to me DJing. Till I get to a point where I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I've got these songs already made. What can I do to transition for a night out? What can I do to like lift up the mood or transition between one genre to the other? Like if I start at the very beginning in terms of actually building a song or helping craft some ideas in terms of how it can be marketed, or presenting ideas to a producer or a songwriter, like what could I do? So it was the management side that I kind of somewhat fell into, but I wouldn't really say fell into as if it accidentally happened, because my opinion was always being asked in terms of, do you think this is good? Or do you have an idea about this? Or, do you like this hook? Or do you like this concept? People would always be asking me these things anyway. So it was only a matter of time until I told myself that, why are these people always asking for your opinion? It must mean that, they value it and it matters, or you have some kind of good ideas. So I was like, okay, cool. How can I put a structure around this? Whereas it's not just, hey, Fred, what do you think about this? Blah, blah, blah. How can I fully plug myself into something and watch and help and create and cultivate something from the bottom up? So that's exactly how it happened. And Nick kind of trusted me.
I mean, it's always good that, I think, for an artist, like if a manager has got some kind of background in not just like music as a whole, but whether they've got, some kind of background as like a DJ. I think more that, especially like if they used to be an artist, I think, sometimes if like a manager used to be an artist, you get egos and stuff like that, maybe to an extent. But I think, anyone who's got like a background in any kind of, whether it's like programming for radio or, like being a DJ such as yourself, like it's easier what was I going to say? It's very beneficial for the artist in the way that you can kind of see things from a different standpoint and be like, well, actually, maybe you should try it like this because of it can work in a club, or it can work better for radio, and that's. I mean, do you have like a lot of those discussions where you sometimes have to kind of sit artists down and chat to them on a level like that and be like, look, trust me on this. It's you should think about doing it this way, or do they just kind of trust your judgment like completely and be like, all right, cool, let's just do this?
Yeah, sometimes there's a bit of a back and forth in terms of, okay, I think this would be a really, really good idea, or this is what the current climate in music is at the moment. Don't follow that. Try and do something sort of countercultural. So whilst everyone is making this type of music, you don't necessarily have to do that. Or I might think that there's a sound or something that's kind of bubbling up right now, and I think you should, just experiment, dabble in it, see if you can do something, or see if you can take an aspect of what they're doing and then just shape it around what you do, so that no one ever questions your authenticity, or you're always just chasing the next thing kind of thing. So, yeah, it's always like a back and forth conversation that always takes place.
So with everything happening at the moment with lockdown, and obviously we don't know how long this is going to go on for, how have you seen the way that artists are releasing music, and especially sonically as well? Like, I mean, I know this is kind of slowed down for a few artists. I know that, like Young Baines just dropped a new tape. I know, obviously like Young T and Bugsy are doing bits at the moment, their new joint, it's obviously gone viral. Like, how do you think sonically, how do you think sonically that music is going to change in the next, 3 to 6 months? Like, do you think people are going to be still trying to make stuff with the aim of it eventually popping in a club, or do you think people are going to kind of take a step back and be like, all right, I haven't got that pressure on me to deliver a club banger, let's just try something different?
I think it's the latter, I honestly think it's going to come to a stage where, or it is slowly but surely transitioning to a stage of thinking, okay, I don't necessarily have to chase and try to make a massive song that's going to blow on radio. That's hopefully then going to make promoters ring up my phone and be like, hey, do you want to come do wireless because your tune's popping right now? So I'm really hoping that artists kind of enjoy this period to slow down as well, in terms of, okay, cool, let me actually figure out what I love and what I like, and get back to a place where they remember why they started doing what they're doing. Because I'm pretty sure as a DJ as well, we have times when it's like, okay, wicked, we've got like a nice opportunity to play a club and they're paying really, really well, better than any other place is paying, but I've got to play top 40 tracks. And I can't play anything else other than that. And at the start, it's like, all right, cool, I'm getting my money up. This is fantastic. I'm getting to play out too. But after a little while, there's only so many of those nights you could take where you're playing the same songs, and you're not playing songs that you necessarily like to play, but the crowd are loving the music that you're being told to play. It kind of gets to a stage and a point where it's like, okay, cool, I need to at least try to balance it out with stuff that I like playing, or playing or DJing at other places that will allow me to express myself outside of the top 40 realm. Like the artists are able to kind of be like, okay, cool, well, let me give them something different. Like, there's no harm in doing it at the moment. There's no harm in experimenting. So yeah, I think I'd like to hope that a lot of artists will not try to chase the whole let's make like a viral hit, or let's try and make something that's going to pop off of a TikTok. Just try to be authentic as possible. And
yeah, because I think with like a lot of those tunes anyway, like especially the kind of TikTok joints, like even though you do get some anomalies off of it, which do stand the test of time or still like stay here for a few years, a lot of these tunes are all like forgotten in like 3 to 6 months. And then I was chatting to someone else, actually recorded episode 4 3 back to back, so I was chatting to Complex about it, and we we're kind of saying that because obviously like hip hop and R&B is now effectively like the pop music of today, it has been for the best part of 15-20 years now, there is still that kind of throwaway mentality, where you have other genres like house, dancehall, drum and bass, garage, people are still gonna appreciate and do the research and listen to older records. Even people listen to rock music as well, whereas hip hop and R&B, I should say more specifically hip hop anyway, I don't really should be putting R&B into that conversation, but with hip hop especially, there is that kind of mentality of like, oh, you released it 10 years ago, oh, that's old, that's irrelevant, I don't want to hear it. Do you think people's taste in music and how they consume stuff is going to change as well, and over the next few months as well? Because it seems that like streaming is down a little bit because people aren't commuting to work like they used to. A lot of people working from home at the moment, but do you think the way that people are going to be listening to stuff, do you think it's gonna kind of change people's palates a little bit, or once things are, you know, up and running again, do you think they're just going to be back in the club requesting the same old stuff that they, you know, been listening to for, you know, God knows how long?
For a while. I'd like to think, I'd hope to think that people's tastes will slightly change. You know, you've got incredible platforms like the No Signal guys.
Yeah,
That
they're killing it at the moment. It's crazy.
crazy platform, ridiculous platform, and sort of the you know, they've got a lot of eyes and ears on them right now, and they're in a really powerful position where they're able to somewhat dictate what is cool or what might be up and coming that we need to pay attention to. So by just having a platform like that just allows people to kind of take a little detour away from the music that's thrown in front of our faces by the people that have money to put those songs in front of our eyes. So having something like organic like that already, like, you're changing people's ears and what they're used to listening to. You know, that I think ID Pizzle guy, that Christian Dior tune.
Yeah.
I haven't come across it before, No Signal, and all of a sudden it's on everybody's lips. So slowly but surely people's behavior will change. But like I said, you know, we've had decades of people going out on clubs and nights out after work on a Friday and a Saturday, and requesting the same songs. I don't think that's necessarily going to disappear. But what's going to happen is I think having this period is just going to allow a space for that type of music that isn't, you know, bombarded into our faces, to have, you know, its own space to breathe and do its thing. So yeah, hopefully I answered that, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's all good. I really think that No Signal, like, if they do it right, they could really kind of fill that void that obviously Radar created when obviously they got shut down. Do you know what I mean? You know, they really have this opportunity to, you know, like you said, actually create something organically, create something that is authentic as well. I think, you know, authenticity is key really with you know, obviously the platforms and that. And, you know, not to say that stations out there don't do it. I mean, you know, Rinse is still always, you know, about, you know, championing new artists and new music, and you know, great station, represent as well. Even like West Side's developing ground for, you know, like presenters as well, broadcasters. But yeah, you know, they really have this kind of gap in the market to actually really start pushing new artists and pushing culture, really. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting. I think what's going to happen in the next few months, especially with like live streaming and online platforms. I've been asking everyone who comes on the podcast, or, you know, their thoughts on it. I mean, how do you see things like changing? Do you think more people are going to end up kind of socializing online? Do you think there's going to be a bounce back and people are going to go straight to the club? I mean, what's your thoughts on, you know, Zoom parties and Zoom club events? It's kind of, it feels like an exciting time, but at the same time, like, I DJ'd a Zoom party a few weeks ago, and it was dope. It was, you know, it was cool because it was done by 1 o'clock, and I was in bed straight afterwards. Like, you know, I never got to bed at 1 o'clock on a Friday, Saturday. I'm like, you're mad. You know, I'm like driving back to my house and getting into bed like 5 in the morning, having to like wake up at 9 and stuff, and feeling sorry for myself. But yeah, being able to like, but it's very weird, you know, kind of DJing like a Zoom party and seeing, you know, all these like squares on the screen, and it's just like people dancing in their living room. It's kind of mad. You know, I kind of like it because I'm nosy and I like looking into people's houses. It's what I love, like location, all that. But do you know what I mean? Like,
what kind of wallpaper is that?
Exactly, yeah. Is that Artex on the ceiling? No. Like, what's your thoughts on, you know, how like live stream and you know, Zoom parties are kind of kicked off?
Excellent for now. I think when we don't have a choice to actually go out and enjoy ourselves in what we used to be able to like do, I think right now it's fantastic. DJs are able to like still enjoy doing what they're doing. They still kind of feel as if they're needed in this whole like time and space. But at the same time, nothing beats being out in a club with people and hearing reactions and hearing people screaming things at the top of their lungs. So I think once we're all allowed out and we're all safe, that'll be like, I think people just be itching to go out and just enjoy
Mhm.
themselves. But whilst we're here quarantined in lockdown in our houses and we can't mix up with other people, doing it online, I think that's sick, man. You've got some people like, I think D-Nice, man. Jeez,
Oh,
just
D-Nice completed Instagram. You know what I mean? Like literally. And you know, even now, like when he jumps back online, you know, like my man's doing like, you know, 8-9 hour sets. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
on it. Oh yeah, you got D-Nice, Questlove as well has been doing
Yeah,
some really cool stuff. Then I've seen like a whole bunch of different like UK DJs just killing it and doing their thing
yeah.
as
Like
well.
was it Continental GT, Silk from Birmingham?
Yep,
You know,
I
you
saw
got
Silk, yeah.
Radford. You know, Beefy from, you know, yeah, Beefy's doing like cool things at the moment.
Mm,
And even like the Twitch side of things, you know, like Complexion's killing it at the moment.
yeah.
Like he's raised about like 4K now just for like food banks in NHS. It's crazy.
Shouts out to him, man. That's
Yeah,
really, really
man.
cool because
And
that's
there's
unheard
been
of,
like
really.
there's been a lot of good coming out of this, like a lot of charity events, like, you know, a lot of people supporting the cause, and even just like supporting artists as well. Like Bandcamp's had like a massive surge in purchases. You know,
Yeah,
obviously they've been like
yeah,
waiving their fees periodically, which is great. You know, it's been good to kind of see people actually supporting artists and buying product rather than, you know, just streaming it on, you know, these
yeah,
platforms and getting
yeah.
like 0.003p for, you know, one stream, whatever it is. You're able to support the artist directly in that. Yeah, I don't know. Like I have a theory about just all this. Like I feel that it's going to be kind of two outcomes. I think one, definitely live streaming is going to become more of a social norm. I think, you know,
Mm,
you're going to have a group of people that will want to kind of stay indoors. You know, they're going to be like all of a sudden like, you know, socially adjusted to it. You know, they're going to be used to kind of staying in, socializing online. And you know, on the other hand, you're going to have people who are going to go out, but they're probably just going to invest in like the local nightlife. They're not really going to be looking to, you know, travel up to Manchester for warehouse projects, you know, spend
sure.
hundreds of pounds on tickets and hotels and other bits and pieces. So I think local, like if you live in kind of like a regional town, um, and if you're like a promoter who's got like a good database, like there's a massive opportunity to kill it when things go back to normal. Because again, like clubs and, you know, any kind of venue is going to be looking to kind of get heads through the door.
Yeah,
They're going to rely on promoters, I think, especially, you know, some of them might, you know, just do stuff in house, you know, and obviously certain chains have got the kind of backing and resources to do that. But a lot of independents are going to struggle. And I think, you know, if you're a half decent promoter and you've got like a good local following, yeah,
mm,
man, it's going to make so much money off of this, man. Do you know what I mean?
mm.
But I do like the idea of the online stuff because, like I said, I can get paid and not leave my house, which is the
It's
dream.
very true.
You know what I
That
mean?
is very true.
You know, I haven't
I'm,
got to
I'm,
deal with Karen screaming at me at like 10 o'clock, like, why are you not playing Craig David right now? Do you know what I mean? I can, you know, I mean, she can type it to me in the chat, but I don't necessarily need to read it. It's great.
like, straight block. You know what I mean? Don't have to worry.
Exactly.
I, I also think like I don't know. I reckon both of them could probably exist at the same time in the same realm as well.
Mhm.
So for instance, like playing with the whole idea of like I don't know, maybe like in the sense of there's a concert and there's obviously been it's at a venue and all the tickets have been sold out. Why
Mhm.
can't you charge like a small premium to witness and experience that
Yeah.
concert via a live stream?
Yeah, so that band, Grateful Dead, they did a farewell
Yeah.
tour, and because I was looking into like pay-per-view events and doing some reading in that,
Mm,
and like I know a few rappers have done it, like Saffron did it a couple of years ago when obviously his show got locked off. But yeah, Grateful Dead did that. They did like a farewell tour, a farewell show, and the people that couldn't get a ticket, yeah, they just like streamed it for them, and you're able to, you know, like pay like whatever the price is, and you know, get like
mm,
multiple camera angles as well, which is sick.
yeah.
I think there's like a business model that could be, you know, developed there. I think, you know, a lot of people don't like the idea, you know, they're like, well, if I can watch them online, I can watch them on YouTube and whatnot. But I think if you're able to kind of do it like pay-per-view and like package it with like merchandise or
Mm,
any kind of like collectibles, you know, something for like the super fans maybe. I think there's
mm,
definitely something that can kind of be developed there. So I think off the back of this, you're going to see like a lot of artists kind of taking initiative and, you know, dare I say it, like even like AR, VR as well, you know, that's stuff there that can, you know, we're probably like a good 5 or 10 years off from that, but
yeah.
yeah, man, it's yeah, I've had some like mad conversations with people over the last few weeks about like VR and stuff, but
Mm.
yeah, it's
That'd be
I could,
mad.
yeah, man. Imagine like just don't even need to leave your room. You can just like put a headset on and there you are. You got like people
Nah,
clapping in
front
front of
row.
you. Yeah, it's crazy, mad. Yeah, imagine that like the virtual strip clubs. Do you reckon that's a thing? Do you reckon that can exist? Is that even do you reckon that actually exists now? Like,
Probably gap in the market there, you know.
yeah, maybe.
I reckon,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
little PayPal button on the side. Yeah,
That's it. Keep pressing it and end up dashing out more ones.
yeah, man. Did you see Tory Lanez's um
Oh,
like people dropping mad money in that as well? It's
on
crazy.
YouTube, yeah, that was pretty amazing. That was actually quite sick, man. He proper went in, man. He was performing as if he was in front of 1 million people, which he
Hmm.
was virtually. But
Yeah,
I mean, he was performing as if there was people there screaming out his song. So like, shouts
yeah.
out to him.
The other thing I rated was Travis Scott doing a concert in Fortnite.
Whoever came out of that, genius,
Yes, exactly. It's
genius. Like, because kids on Fortnite, they'll happily pay like a little premium to like download a little skin or
mhm.
or get this weapon or whatever it is they might sort of want to pay for. And right now is a perfect time to actually target that audience and be like, okay, cool, well, this is going to happen. Make sure you're on it. And all of a sudden, your song is being blasted out to millions and millions of people that can then propel it to becoming the #1 song or,
Yeah,
a boost in sales of your albums or whatever. It's just so
yeah,
clever. It
and
was
it's
sick, just the way it's done.
I know, man. It's not just limited to that. I mean, I imagine that there'll probably be something put into like GTA 5 where you can pay entry to go into one of the nightclubs in there and watch someone like do a show, or I don't know, like you said, like pay for like certain skins, or like be able to like do missions with like certain artists and stuff. I feel that this whole kind of like merging of video games and music. I think there's definitely gonna be some mad shit happening over the next few months, let alone like year or two of this. You know what I mean? It's yeah, like
It's
I
very
actually kind
true.
of regret selling my PlayStation now because like I was playing GTA 5 for a while and then I had to sell it because I was just playing it way too much and I wasn't getting anywhere. So yeah, I kind of regret not having a PlayStation at the moment, but I know that I'll just spend all my free time on that, just doing nothing basically.
I hear you, man.
So what else have you been doing? Whilst you've been on lockdown. I mean, what besides obviously the management and doing mixtapes like this, what else you been doing to kind of keep yourself occupied?
I'm a huge fan of like documentaries.
Hmm.
I'm just a sucker for stories, whether they're told over a beat, or whether it's on film. Like I've just been watching so many like different sports documentaries, like the ESPN 30 for 30s. I've just been rattling through them. I've been trying to do some reading as well,
Hmm.
whether it's a book or I'm ending up down some like Wikipedia wormhole. I'm just ending up reading very, very random
Yeah.
things.
No, I
Um,
do like wasting time on Wikipedia. I feel that like Wikipedia is like the basically just like the book version of YouTube because it's like
yeah,
I will go on there and be like, oh, I wonder if that person was in that film, and then you click on that person, and then you see their filmography, and then all of a sudden you're like 3 hours deep into a Wikipedia thing, and you're looking at I don't know squirrels. Do you know what I mean?
it's true.
It's crazy.
It's true. Yeah.
It's like YouTube. Like I will go on there to like I don't know research some kind of music production stuff. Then I don't know.
Mm,
I've ended up looking at like skateboarding videos from like 1996 or something. It's weird how it gets you, man. But
I know, man. One click, man. That's it.
exactly, it's mad. I've been watching a lot of documentaries recently. I watched the LA Originals one.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, have you seen that one?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
so dope, man. It like it was nice because it kind of took me back to an era of like being at school where I was listening to literally nothing but like Cypress Hill
Cypress Hill.
and that was pretty much the soundtrack to secondary school for me. But also the fact that they had the sense to really document this really early on.
Mm,
Like the 80s specifically, but also 90s hip hop. There isn't really a lot of like footage and stuff that really kind of survived. I mean, there's like photos here and there, but the fact that actually properly went out and documented it was dope.
mm,
It's something that it's a little bit of a shame because I think when you start comparing it like to the UK scene, apart from garage, jungle to an extent,
mm,
the whole like UK rap scene in particular, like there wasn't really anyone kind of documenting this in like the 80s when it first started. And like the good thing about now is that everyone's obviously like filming stuff and everything's kind of getting documented, everything's kind of like put into an archive online. But
Yeah,
it's a shame that like we weren't really kind of doing that in the UK. Yeah, but I'm just trying to think what else I was watching. I haven't seen the Michael Jordan one yet. That's on the list.
strongly recommend.
Yeah, what's it called again? Because it's
The Last Dance.
yeah, isn't it? Because it covers like the whole dream team as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it covers that. It's obviously Michael Jordan being the focal point. It also looks at sort of the Chicago Bulls and the different players that have come in and out, the relationship between the owners and Jordan, and how he just catapulted into like becoming the biggest sports star athlete ever.
Yeah.
It's so good, man. The way they've done it. I don't want to spoil anything just in case people haven't watched it, but just the way how they travel through the different eras and kind of find like an underlying message for like an episode and like going between that and footage and taking it back to why they sort of started the documentary. It's really clever.
Oh, sick. Yeah, that's definitely one to watch. I mean, there's also been like a lot of bullshit I've been watching as well. What did I watch recently? I watched like watched the recent Jumanji. Rented that actually from Amazon.
What do you think?
It was cool. I mean, if you want to like zone out for like a couple of hours, and it's just like it's pretty much the same as like the previous movie. You know what's going to happen basically. So I couldn't bring myself to rent out Sonic the Hedgehog. I wanted to watch it, like I really do, but I just couldn't justify spending like the £12 to rent it. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. I love Jim Carrey in it, so that it got me in, man. It got me in.
Yeah, is it as bad as I'm imagining it to be, or is it actually worth like spending the money and downloading it?
No, wait until it gets on Netflix or something like that.
Okay.
Give it a little while, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you'd sit there and think, flipping, oh man, I could have actually done something else with this.
So it's crazy how they're just like premiering stuff like straight on, things like Disney Plus and Hulu now, and Rakuten and all of these things. It's
Yeah.
Do you think that this could also mean like the end of like the cinemas? I mean, I like the experience of being able to go to cinema. I don't like the aspect of paying through the nose like for food and stuff there. It's always like try and take my own stuff in. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I went to the Avengers premiere, obviously because you had to, like literally just for me and my girlfriend to go and to get all of the relevant snacks and stuff. Like it's easy, like 50 quid, like going there. I mean, it was worth it because it was the Avengers, but at the same time, it's I'm just being a tight ass. I don't really want to spend like 50 quid going to cinema. Not when I can. Yeah, I mean, like, do you think cinemas are really going to almost become a thing of the past now? Or do you think, again, like with nightclubs, do you think people are still going to crave that kind of live setting?
Yeah, I like not all of us have flipping 100-inch TVs in the living room where we can fully like just be in the film, surround sound and all that stuff. Like, as much as I enjoy home comforts and being able to do things at home, like just nothing can replace, for me personally, nothing can replace the experience of actually, cool, all right, the film starts at this time, I have to be there. And whilst I'm there, there's no checking my phone. If my phone rings, I'm going to look at it and be like, okay, cool, I'll call you after. I feel that when you're at home and you're in comfort of like your own bedroom or your living room, there's just so many things that can distract you and just take your course. But when you're actually out, it's just you and whatever you're consuming. So
yeah, man. I also like watching the trailers as well, so I get there like early just to like watch stuff and see what's coming out, and that used to be like my thing as well. But at the same time, I do like being able to watch it at home just because I'm lazy, because especially like with The Irishman, it's what, 3.5 hours long. I can pause it, I can make a cup of tea, have a little interval, all right, come back to it. I haven't got like sit there for like 3.5 hours in my seat or whatever. If I want to like just quickly pop out, walk the dog, do that, come back.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah,
I like being able to watch stuff at my leisure, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how like Marvel cope with all of this, because I know they've got their next two phases lined up. whether they, they do this straight for Disney Plus and, keep it in house that way, or whether they still like open up to the theaters. I'm probably going to get Disney Plus just so I can, watch like Black Widow.
Yeah.
When that comes out. Do you follow much of the Marvel stuff, or you?
Yeah, man, big fan.
Okay, cool.
Big fan. All comic books as well, and
Yeah.
sort of reading them when I was younger. Yeah, huge fan. I can't get enough of that stuff. In fact, I think I've watched Endgame like 2 or 3 times during this period of lockdown. Even though when it was actually in the cinema, I maybe watched it 4 or 5 times.
Damn.
But then I watched it again after not watching it for a long time, and I was just like, oh, I completely forgot this happened. Like, you'd be surprised to know how much information leaks out of your memory after you've seen something so many times. You watch it again, you're like, oh my days, I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah, I think the way that Marvel was so clever with it, or Kevin Feige in particular, is when you go back and watch the older films and you see like all these little Easter eggs that like, work their way up to like being in Infinity War and Endgame. It's just like how they've built up to this saga over, 3 phases over what, like 10 years of solid movies. It's crazy, man. I think for me, like, I think Infinity War is probably the better movie out of the two, out of that and Endgame. I think Endgame obviously ties it all up very, very nicely. And even like me and Complexion was saying that even if they did like no more Marvel films after that, the fact we'd had like 10 or 11 like amazing years of Marvel movies ending on that side would have been fine. But I'm interested to see like how they work with Spider-Man over like forthcoming movies. I think it'd be silly for them, for both like Marvel and Sony to still not do business. It's such a profitable character for them. Whether because there was talk of like Spider-Man going back to Sony and existing in like the Venom universe for a few movies and stuff. I can't really. It just gets confusing for the fans, I think, at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, completely with you.
But yeah, the other thing that's also gassed me up is Fantastic Four and X-Men as well. And a lot of us have had kind of theories about how they're going to introduce the mutants and stuff. How do you think they're gonna do that?
Well, for that's going to be a hard one just because they've done it so many times. If that makes sense. I can't even count how many X-Men films we've had over the years.
Too many, actually.
Too many, and only a few of them are really, really stuck in our memory. Same with Fantastic Four. We haven't had a lot of those, but we remember them for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think because of those things happened such a long time, they've actually got like a nice clean state to start again and just be able to control the narrative and just tell it how it is. But with the X-Men, there's a new film coming out next year? What is it? The Angelina Jolie's in it.
The Eternals. Yeah.
Yeah, the Eternals obviously has a whole different phase in terms of where they go with that. But I'm really not too sure. I don't envy those guys who are writing any X-Men or any Fantastic Four scripts or screenplays right now, because it's been done a few times.
Yeah, it's all been done by like outside studios. I mean, no one really does Marvel like Marvel. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
It's. With the exception of maybe like the original Spider-Man 1 and the original Spider-Man 2, they still stand the test of time, and they're still very comic book-esque. It's still bright, still colourful, and there's an element of Marvel in there, even though it's Sony behind it, or Fox. I can't remember which one. But yeah, with X-Men, I mean, the theories going around is that I think with the whole WandaVision TV show, there's going to be something off the back of that, and somehow Scarlet Witch either creates a universe where, I don't know, something happens in the multiverse. So I think a lot of it is also linked to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So we get brought into that, or I don't know, all of a sudden some shit's happened and everything's got like all muddled up, and boom, we wake up in a reality full of mutants and stuff, which is an easy way to kind of set it up for them.
It's a good way.
Yeah, man. But
possibly endless, aren't they?
Yeah, I know. I'm interested in the Blade reboot as well. Like they've
Blade.
Yeah, man. And again, like, I wonder what they're going to kind of work up to in phase 6, whether it's going to be like Secret Wars or, you know, whether it be like a Civil War Part 2. It's you know, it's mad, man. Like the possibilities there, and you know, endless, and especially, you know, how they open up the multiverse is, you know, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I
They did
could
that
be
so
here
well
for.
with the cartoon.
I know, man. I could be here like all night, just like geeking out about like Marvel shit, man. It's,
Yeah, but we'll have to do it another time, man.
do you follow much DC stuff as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I follow quite a lot of DC stuff. In
Yeah.
fact, I always used to. I gravitated towards the darkness of DC more than I did of the colourful nature of Marvel. And a lot of people talk bad about Batman, but I flipping love Batman.
Yeah, I think what they got wrong, what the studios got wrong with it, is that it was just the whole tone of it. Like, I think they kind of looked at what Marvel were doing and were like, hey, it's cool, it's bright, it's colourful, they got jokes here and there. Batman's a serious character. Like, he only ever lasts once, you know, throughout all the comic, you know, lines that I know. And I think that's what on Killing Joke. Do you know what I mean? You know, and the same with like Superman. Like, they're all very like straight-laced superheroes. They don't really kind of crack jokes or mess around or break the fourth wall like Deadpool or anything like that. If they kind of kept the tone more serious and, you know, a bit darker, you know, I feel that like Nolan's Batman really is kind of like actually no, I'd say probably Burton's Batman as well. Maybe, you know, Michael Keaton in particular, but
yeah,
that
was a balance between like the color and the darkness as well, because Burton is known for his vividness.
Yeah, I'm putting it out there and saying that Keaton's probably the best Batman of all time.
He was wicked.
Yeah.
Those are solid Batman films. Yeah, they don't get the roses that they deserve.
Yeah, well, I think it's just when Joel Schumacher came in and just ruined everything afterwards. And, you know, had like what's his face, Tommy Lee Jones walking around in like bad makeup and shit. You know what I mean? And then obviously having the Batman suit with the nipples and shit. It was that's when
Mr. Freeze.
Oh god, yeah, that's when it started going super downhill. But yeah, I feel that DC really just kind of need to maybe take a step back, and just kind of work out, you know, where they're going to go ahead. I think doing Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, that's definitely worked well for them, especially that James Gunn's obviously doing Suicide Squad 2. You know, I know that was already in the works, and obviously I know he's back doing Guardians 3 now, which is sick. But I think if DC kind of hold on to that style, or rather than kind of have a common shared universe where it's, you know, one particular aesthetic, if they kind of keep it, you know, each character individual, like a Batman film is going to be super dark, but we know Suicide Squad is going to be a little bit more slapstick, and we know that Superman's going to be a bit more like straight-laced and stuff, and just keep it like that, then, you know, it should be cool. And, you know, spend the time developing those movies and developing those character arcs, rather than kind of rushing out 3 or 4 films here and there and trying to do Justice League, and it, you know, doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So so I think I need to get back to the music a little bit and obviously talk about the mixtape that we did, which is the whole point of this video.
Would have thought.
Yeah, I know, right? Just went down again, going down rabbit holes and stuff. I think that'll be in the description, video description. Title of this episode 3, going down the rabbit hole. So when you were putting this together, like, how did you approach, you know, selecting the tunes, and kind of what was your sort of thought process behind, you know, putting this mix together?
I think I started off where I just wanted songs that evoke a feel-good emotion once I hear them, and also songs that as soon as people instantly hear them, they know the hook, they know the verse. It's just got so many aspects of like sing-alongs in them. So when putting them together, I was just like, okay, cool. When every track drops, I kind of want someone to be like, oh, okay, like I know this. I want to sing with it. And then I also try to sort of balance sort of my love for R&B music, when sort of rappers have dabbled and done a verse here and there, or whether rappers had a song and then an R&B artist has come and dabbled in it. I also wanted to just play a couple tunes where showcase R&B ability, like in the UK. I think I've definitely been guilty of doing R&B sets and not dropping one British R&B song when we've had quite a few really, really good songs.
Yeah, man. So I knew you drew for like Fundamental on there, which was bad tune. It's that's like Channel U staple, man. That's like big tune. And yeah, I think even like kind of like crossover joints, I know, you know, some Ja Rule in there. I want to say, yeah, Hit the Freeways in there as well, with Loon. That's a bad tune.
Yeah, so especially the extended version.
Yeah, for real. It's that period of like R&B is just, you know, I feel that what kind of like 2001 to like 2003, it was literally just like straight Timbaland, Neptune's productions in the club. Yeah, man, it was, you know, it was a wicked time to be out there in the club and stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, it kind of like off of that, I was just like, oh, there's a lot of tunes that I wanted to play in that mix. All right, I need to like dig a little bit deeper and, you know, roll off the back of that. But yeah, man, it's, you definitely kind of put together like a definitive list of like those classic 90s and 2000s tunes that, you know, everyone sings along to in the club and stuff. So it was, and I like the fact with the mixing as well, like it's, you know, it's very seamless as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's, you know, it's smooth, bro. So yeah, man, big up you, innit?
Thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing yours as well, man.
Yeah, I'm actually, I was meant to record mine. I've actually recorded the video before I actually recorded the mix, but you know, it's just me like being a perfectionist and, you know, trying to, you know, do my thing. So so for anyone watching, the link to the mix will be in the video description as well. So yeah, click the button, that'll link you to Mixcloud. And if you come from Mixcloud as well, there will be a link for, well, if you come from Mixcloud, then you know there would have been a video link in the description. So we're just trying to kind of, you know, cross promote like both platforms and stuff, and, you know, try and build something. And really all of this was just to kind of, you know, keep in touch with people, see how they're coping, you know, during this time. You know, obviously I know it's not easy for a lot of people out there, so really it's just kind of, you know, sort of putting content out just to keep people occupied and engaged, but also to kind of keep you know, my DJ mates like active and, you know, just tapping into each other's fan bases and just putting out some dope stuff, really. You know, at the end of the day, like, I just want to work with cool people, and it's luckily that people in my circle are cool people, so I get to, you know, to do that. So, you know, obviously thanks for you know, taking the time out to, you know, chat to me and also do the mix as well. You know, so
thank you.
Looking forward to hearing the full thing. And obviously to everyone watching, keep it lots. Got Complex from D Clarity Sound, he's up next. Got Essie from West Side FM, she's going to be doing a mix with her as well, and yeah, a few other people in the bag as well, man. So but before we go, just quickly, the top 3 things you've gained out of lockdown so far.
Top 3 things I have gained from lockdown is being able to just enjoy the different content, different DJs, different musicians have been able to like throw out there. And then off the back of that, just the conversations that have been able to sort of come from that. So you look at the different versus battles, or, you know, you look at the 10v10s, no signal. They've just all been a great time for people to just have conversations about music. So that's been really, really cool. Also, just, I don't know, just picking up new skills, man. Just trying to learn other stuff. Like, I remember you dropped a wicked scratching tutorial. I was just like, okay, cool, man, let me sort of check out what other techniques I have no idea about.
Cool.
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, okay, cool, let's have a little practice. So yeah, like stuff like that has been pretty amazing. And also I've always felt that sometimes as sort of club DJs that we play all the top 40 songs, but we kind of like leave our responsibility of playing stuff that no one's ever heard of. It's kind of been nice being able to share sort of new music and stuff like that, and not that we're trying to be the person that puts everyone on and, you know, I played it first and that person's huge, but just allowing people to hear new and different music that they weren't able to before. I've been sort of enjoying doing that, and recording mixes like that as well. It's kind of like, okay, you lot might not have a clue what any of these songs are, but just have a listen. You might like one, you might like none, but, you know, just have a little listen.
Sick, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, it's been decent.
Cool, man. Yes, this is back to back, episode 3. I'm DJ Cable. This is Buttery Hotness, aka the. I'm going to put it out there. I think it's probably the best DJ name I've heard in a long while. So you definitely take the title for having, the best DJ name. You need to make yourself a logo. Like, you can come up with, you've probably got like the template to have like the craziest fucking logo now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I've got an idea in my head. I've actually got an idea in my head. I was thinking, why have I not executed this? But yeah, I've got a sick idea.
Because obviously that's what you do now. If you're a DJ, the first thing you do is you get a press kit and a logo before you even learn how to DJ. You know what I mean?
That's very true. And then you need to get pictures. like the ones where you're like, you know, standing in front of your DJ equipment, sort of looking like you know what you're doing, even though you're like, what does this button do?
Yeah, tell you what, if you ever get like a good like 15-20 minutes spare, go to Google and type in bad DJ press picks and click on images, and there's so many. Do you know what? I'm actually going to do this now.
Me too.
Bad DJ press picks. I'm actually going to like screen share this as well. So here we go.
Goodness.
Right. This you can share media, you can share screen. Okay, cool. This is definitely up there as one of the worst yet best press picks of all time. Let me open a new tab. Hang on a minute. Oh, it's on the list. Oh, you know, like one of these. It's on that one of these listings. All right, cool. No, that's cool. I can do it. I don't know how I feel. Like I just typed in bad DJ press picks and a picture of Charlie Sloth came up. Yeah. Sorry, Charlie. We love you, bro.
Yeah.
Here we go. No. Yeah. Share. There we go. This one right here.
Cooking up.
Yeah, man. And here you go. Here's another guy cooking up as well.
Goodness me. Got the pioneer in the barbecue.
Oh no, it's crazy. What else have we got down here? It's like this is always like a generic one, isn't it? Let me just lay here with like my stuff on the concrete. DJ night style, and it's taken at night as well. That's what thank you, man. This is a personal favorite.
Do you know what? I actually might recreate that. That seems like something Buttery Hotness would do.
Right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the beach and just like pose like that. Just like my turntables on the floor, and this one just doing the. I think that's the pose that you give people if they come and request like a really bad song. You're like, yeah, I gotcha. You know what I mean? Coming right up. Right, let me go back to now. Hang on, let me just stop the screen share. Right, anyway, that's that. So yeah, that's the end of this, bro. Thanks once again. You know, obviously stay safe. Glad that you're keeping well. Obviously, you know, give my regards to Nick as well. Hope he's keeping well at the same time. And when you guys have new music as well, please send over. Love to hear it, and obviously I'll support where I can. So yeah, you know what I mean,
appreciate that, man.
No worries.
Thank you.
All right, nice one, G. Big up.